Child and adolescent mental health disorders are the most common illnesses.
Mental health disorders are real medical conditions, just like cancer or diabetes.
It felt like I can't get out of bed.
65% of those with depression.
Things were not going to get better.
And 80% of those with anxiety.
As if like the smallest task felt overwhelming and as if I had a large weight on my shoulder.
Do not get any treatment.
If somebody isn't forthcoming to a psychiatrist or to their family, how can you help them?
It is no secret that many high school students struggle to some degree. In fact, 1 in 10 school-aged children and teens suffer from a mental health illness that impairs their academic abilities. So, how does the psychological well-being of the average high school student affect the quality of their education? According to Nancy Baril, a high school teacher in Boston, Massachusetts, quote, "Mental health awareness is an important issue for all educators who are often the first line of defense for their students." End quote. Yet, according to a study launched in 2011, only 34% of teachers feel ready to deal with their students' mental health.
Hi, I'm Nina Shea. I'm the school social worker at ACT Performing Arts Magnet High School in Willimantic, Connecticut.
Why is the average modern high school student struggling?
There isn't really an average modern high school student. I think students are struggling for lots of different reasons, and it can, some of them are current reasons and some of them are age-old reasons. Socioeconomic factors have always played a role in how well students perform, from pre-kindergarten all the way through college. But I think you now have added expectations. Everybody seems to feel like getting an A is the only thing that's acceptable. I think you can't discuss modern students without discussing social media and technology and the negative impact that has brought into how we relate to one another, how we go about getting information, how we spend our time, how we spend our downtime. Studies that show increases of cortisol levels through use of technology, sitting under fluorescent lights, all kinds of other things that increase our stress levels, and that leads largely to struggling academically, socially, emotionally, and in our homes.
How does mental health correlate with academic performance? According to an anonymous survey sent out to the staff members of ACT, from my experience, mental health has a huge impact on student academic performance. If students are not in the right mindset, they cannot learn. So when students are struggling, they don't do it well in class, which often makes them more upset. Students need support to address mental health concerns. Another member of ACT staff said, if a student is having problems, the last thing they need to hear or do is be in an academic environment. Their focus will not be on learning, but what is more important to their life at the moment. Some students at ACT have said that mental illness affects their academic life because they get distracted by whatever is going on, or something that is a part of their mental illness just doesn't let them focus. Some people have even said that they just don't have the motivation to work, and it's a constant struggle because they want to get their schoolwork done but can't, even knowing that they might fail.
There is a correlation between positive mental health and the possibility of positive academic performance. Obviously, if you're not struggling with depression or anxiety, or any one of a number of mental health conditions, you have energy to put towards your academics if those are a priority for you, or any of your other healthy pursuits. I don't think having a mental health diagnosis automatically means that you'll struggle academically. I don't think it's one or the other. But I think that if you have, I say depression and anxiety because that's what mostly comes into my office. And I think that's what mostly high schoolers are struggling with if they have mental health diagnoses. And I do think it makes it harder to be successful, but I don't think that there isn't a direct correlation across the board. So you can have depression and still be a straight A student and still thrive academically, or the same is true with anxiety. But I think the absence of those diagnoses obviously makes everything easier.
What is the school mental health program doing to make a change? According to the National Association of School Psychologists, school counselors, school psychologists, and school social workers provide the vast majority of school-based services. They are specially trained in school system functioning and learning, as well as how students' behavior and mental health impacts their ability to be successful in school.
So a lot of what we do here that I think is helpful, may not feel helpful at the time, but we do put a lot of emphasis on social emotional learning and on student-driven success. So I think that gives lots of opportunities for people to be successful, feel successful, build on their successes, and I think that's really important when it comes to learning to manage your mental health. I mean, mental health issues aren't just in high schoolers or in middle schoolers. They're lifelong issues, and if you have depression in high school, it doesn't necessarily mean you have depression your whole life. It may come and it may go, and we all need to learn to manage ourselves emotionally and manage our mental health just like we manage our physical health. So I think that a lot of what happens here at this school supports students learning to manage themselves in all aspects, and that includes their mental health.
Because depression, anxiety, and other mental illnesses are not talked about, as well as stigmatized, some people believe that having a mental health day isn't a great idea. Part of this reason being that teens might lie and say they need a mental health day just so they can skip class. So why have a mental health day if kids are already skipping?
I think that if somebody really feels that they can't manage to come to school emotionally, mental health is no different than physical health. What I will say is if you're taking a mental health day and not looking at all of the other things that you can do, the personal responsibility piece, are you taking care of yourself physically? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating healthily? Are you getting exercise? Those are all things that are proven to be as effective as medication in many cases at improving depression and anxiety. So, are you doing all of that or not? And if you're not, then taking a mental health day and laying around in bed isn't necessarily helping you. It's not making you better. It may give you a little breathing room, but I can't say that there's a direct correlation to improving somebody's academic performance.
In conclusion, the psychological well-being of the average high school student impacts the quality of their education because many teens are proven to be unable to function in an academic environment when their mental health is making it hard for them to focus on schoolwork. Out of all the people who responded to a survey exclusive to ACT's teachers and staff members, every single response was in favor of implementing mental health days here at ACT.